Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
Sam Healy, welcome back.
Yeah, so today we're talking about our top 10 tiny games. Tiny games, so small games really. Actually, we've done this list before, but we call it top 10 stocking stuffers, but we pulled back from that because we actually do a top 10 stocking stuffers now,
Top
for
12
each year.
Sometimes. Or top 9. It depends on
No,
math.
they've always been top 12.
It has never been 9!
We made
We ain't
sure.
gonna talk about that. That's a deep secret. That's dark web secrets.
All right, so
All right.
someone asked, do you think Mr. Face will show up on this list? Possibly not.
Who's Mr. Face?
We just played it, remember?
Oh, where you make that little? Yeah, no, that's not gonna be on it.
All right, so what does tiny mean?
It means that its volume is a small number, if numerically counted.
All mine can fit in my pocket.
All mine can fit in your pocket
That's
too.
too small.
Well, I do have a big pocket though, okay, so.
There you go. That's why I said that.
I believe Tom Bassett just said he had big pockets.
These are all.
I didn't say deep pockets.
As the biggest thing I've got on here is about hand size. How about that?
Yeah.
You know. That.
If we're using Shaq's hand, okay.
Some of these are fairly big. I'm curious. They probably. Okay, we'll see.
I will allow.
They're all
Is
tiny
everything
games.
Is everything smaller than Carcassone's box?
Yes.
That's pretty all right, I think.
We'll let the internet judge there.
They
Oh,
always
judge you,
do.
they will.
They always do.
Okay, no, here's the thing though. At first I was going to order mine by largest to smallest. I thought about doing that actually.
Okay.
But instead I just did mine from my favorite to. I did them in order how much I liked them.
Yep. That's
I
about
kind
where
of
am,
did.
too.
My original plan was I'm gonna do them from the one that, like, the number one, originally I should say, was going to be the one that has the most game to its relative size.
Got it.
It kind of fell apart. That's not really what I'm doing. So
My original plan was to get 10 games on a small games list.
really, I got so many.
Oh, I could have done hundreds of
Well,
this one.
that's the thing.
This is way easier than some of those lists we've been doing recently.
I
yeah.
don't enjoy, for the most part, small games.
Actually, I feel like I know at least 3 on your list.
Well, there's gonna be. I've mentioned many of these games multiple times.
All right.
Just because I'm not a big fan of having this tiny little dinky game. I feel like I'm gonna break it while I'm playing it. Type stuff. I don't
Only if
like
it's a
that
legacy
experience.
Well, there's 2 things I want to mention about my list. One is I did not take into account the fact that some games can be collapsed into a small place. I know that's possible.
Yeah.
Like the one game that people always bring up when this comes is Splendor. With Splendor, you can really shrink it down into
Sure.
a small box. But I didn't do that. I'm going by the box they came in.
Yeah, I mean, that opens up a whole can of worms if you can do that.
And also, on my list, there are no tiny epic games, but I give them props for existing.
Sure.
And I get what
And
that's
the
there.
Oink games. Look, the Oink games are small games that sometimes pack a lot of game into a tiny box.
So to reiterate, I didn't put any tiny epic games on my list.
Yeah.
I was saying that.
Yeah, no,
All
that's
right.
fine. There's a few lines of games. Another thing I will mention is each of these that I picked on my list has a different central mechanism or type of game. I'll talk about that as they come up. So that if you're looking for something small and what you like is deduction, then I'll have one of those for you.
And I'm not going to mention anything else because I feel like this is dragging on.
Another thing I want to mention.
I like to talk about Sam's lack of. All right, go ahead, play it.
Number 10.
Oh, hey.
What do you got there, Sam?
All right, my number 10 is a fun-sized edition of a larger game called Ubongo. Ubongo,
Is
the
that
fun
called
size
Ubongo?
edition.
Oh, I thought it was extreme, but yeah, you're right. The fun size one.
Well,
the-
they're actually, we have both of them. They're
there's
the same size.
Ubongo Extreme, which uses hex-shaped, different kinds of hex-based shaped pieces, and then Ubongo Fun size
original.
edition is more like the original, correct?
Right.
Where it's just the Tetris E type shapes that you can get. Although one shape that is missing from that Tetris family is just a square. There is no just a square in this box. So
2x2.
That's because square is really hard to put in these puzzles.
actually, it would make some of them easier, I think.
I think that's why it's not in there.
Yeah, that's why.
So therefore,
What I did with
what
mine-
I said wasn't even close to correct.
This is called what, the fun size?
Yeah, it's called the fun size edition. It comes in a box that's about that big.
It's smaller.
By the way,
than
why,
Yeah, it
as,
might- it
as
might
a
be.
tall, somewhat large person, I don't understand why being small and fun are synonyms. Like someone says, "Oh, I'm fun-sized," or "This is a fun-sized thing."
That
What
might
does
Has
that
anyone
mean?
described you as fun?
That might be
No!
that
I
might
rest
be a conversation
my
for
case.
another time.
Fine.
What I did with mine, it's a little hard, so what I did is I just cut all the little squares into actual squares. It's a lot easier to play now. Everything fits just about. It works. I mean, I made it the fun and easy size one, you know.
It's like really hard to quick put the squares on.
It's good. It works.
This is a fun, easy, light game to take around. It's the one that I like the least, which is why it's number 10, but it is fun, and I have had a lot of fun with it. These guys still find a way to mock my choices whenever I make them.
It's pretty good. I can see this
Hey, we
is
were mocking
definitely.
your choice. I was mocking
when you describe, I feel
fun-sized thing.
when you describe, I feel like I might break it. This is totally in that category.
Really?
Those little cardboard pieces.
They're not that bad.
I feel like I am gonna break this
Really?
game. I've seen it. I haven't played it, but I opened it up, I think, and I saw it, and I was like, "Man, this is tiny."
I wish
like,
my name was.
No, yeah, it is
Yeah, I
tiny,
feel
but
like
they're
I'm gonna wreck
durable.
this
They're
thing.
durable. They're good quality.
All right.
If you ever
It's a
find
real-time-
Gregor's, though, man, it says over 5 million games sold. He's probably a
Got some
full-time
money?
game designer, I guess.
Guess so, maybe. Alrighty, everybody. My number 10 is a deck building game. It's a fairly small one. This is Dale of Merchants. Either one. There's Dale of Merchants, Dale of Merchants 2. They both come in the same size box. You can get both and combine them, but one of these will be great. Either one. Again, they're about as tall as my hand, maybe slightly more, but they're very thin. They're skinny games. And it is a deck building game. In fact, one of my favorite deck building games because it is not the usual Dominion blueprint. In this one, you buy cards, they go right in your hand. That's a small change. Other games have done it, but I like it so much more. And you are trying to fill in your stalls. And so as you are buying new cards, you're also putting them into these stalls and getting them out of your deck organically. It doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel like, oh, thin your deck out because deck building games told us that's good and mechanically it's good. So yeah, you should do that. It makes sense in this game. I like the cute artwork. I like the theme. It just works for me. This is a really fun size. No, it's a fun. It's a fun deck building game that I enjoy a lot. So there you go. My number 10 deck building game, Dale of Merchants.
Dale Merchants is one of those. It falls into that pitfall of a few small games come in where they're like, "We're small. Here's more. Now we're coming out with the mega version."
Yeah, that's coming. There's a big box that holds everything, right?
Right. There's another game like that is Tom, the
Valley
Egyptian
of the Kings.
Valley of the Kings,
Yes.
which I was like, "Oh, that's a good small game," but now it comes in a Ticket to Ride size box. So,
Right, now you got three versions in one box, yeah.
so someone asked me why I didn't put any of the Tiny Epic games. Well, half of them because I'm not huge fans of half. The ones I do like, it wasn't that I disqualified them; they just didn't make the list. Tiny Epic Galaxies might have been like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Just like I've only played 2 Button Shy games, so Circle the Wagons, which was a pretty close
Wallet
one,
ones,
that's
yeah.
like an 11 for me. So 10 is a game I actually haven't played in a while, but it's a kind of a game I play as a lark. Like, oh, let's play this for a while. It's the gamer Uno, in my opinion, and that's Red 7.
Okay.
Red 7 is a game in which you are trying to play a card that has a winning condition on it. Or you're trying to have the winning condition. So as you play the cards, have the most of one number or the most cards in a row. So it's a really fast game. Was it like 5 minutes,
Yeah,
maybe?
just about.
But you play it over and over again, and I think there's rules in it to make it more complex, and from game to game. I don't normally do that. It's just play the same game over and over and over
Sure,
again.
right.
But I like the simplicity of it. You're trying to get a rule into play that helps you and only you.
Yeah, basically, if at the end of your turn you're not winning, you're eliminated.
Right. So you have to play a card that says have the most blues on the table and have the most.
Right,
Like
and then by the end of their turn or they're out. It's very light game, yeah, but it's quirky. It's kind of tricky.
Yep. So that's my number 10, Red 7.
All right.
Number 9.
All right. This is where my listing of games that I've talked about before on other lists begins.
It begins at 9?
Yes.
And it ends at 1.
No.
Okay, there's like a break.
Reprieve. It picks back up to games that I've mentioned before.
Where's Blood Rage?
Another
showing up?
half reprieve at 2. And then,
I like it.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, my number 9 is Celestia. Celestia, or Cloud 9 is what it used to be called. Celestia is a much more attractive version. You're largely doing the same things. Of course, it just looks better on the table. And it's a push your luck type of mechanism where everybody is, one person, the pilot's going to be rolling dice, and he has to play cards out of his hand in order to move the airship from one space to the next. And everybody else is going to basically be betting, I guess you could say, wagering on whether or not he's going to go. He's going to be able to make it by playing those cards, saying, yes, I'm staying in, or no, I'm staying out, or whatever. And you keep doing it. You're just trying to get the most points. First person, I think, 50 points, I think? Is the winner, or something to that effect. And it's a really fun game, and it comes in a fairly small package. The expansions are like seriously tiny, and they add a lot of oomph to the game as well. So that's why it made my list. There's, I think, a couple of little mini expansions that are out for it, and it's a really fun game. I've talked about it a lot already, so I'm not going to belabor, but my number 9, Celestia.
Couple things. One, Sam, at the beginning of this was choppy. So if you missed that, he said that all these games are, from now on out, are ones you've already heard about ad nauseum. I believe was his exact words.
No. I said this is where that begins, with a slight reprieve at number 6, a half reprieve at number 2, then yeah.
All right. Anyhow,
All right.
Celestia, it's small.
Yeah, it's small. And for me, it is a tiny game because I usually don't like games that are
Okay,
smaller
I'll give
than
you
this.
that. You
So
know.
if a giant was playing, like, Blood Rage, such a tiny game.
Yes,
Sure, I get it.
of course.
You know what? That's okay. You got to give him that.
We got to take what we got to take here. Go ahead.
All right, give my pen back first of all. Okay, don't touch
why
my
do you need
stuff.
a pen?
So I can cross things off here.
Now that we got the PowerPoint, you can't do changes on the fly.
Oh, I realize that. I only ever did that like once or twice. My number 9
I did it like
is
6
That we
times.
know of.
my number 9 is a bluffing game, and this is my one pick from the Paco Games line of games. These are the smallest of any
This
game
is
I
probably
own.
the smallest game on all 30.
That's likely. It's about the size of a pack of gum, not really slightly larger than that, but not by much. And this one, my pick here is Lie. This is pretty much Liar's Dice with cards. You are going to have a hand of cards. They give you, 5 or 6 or whatever. The cards are, all the cards in these games are long and skinny, like that. And you are going to take those and position them in your hand, showing either one of the two ends, i.e. either dice, up. That's what you rolled. And then you play Liar's Dice. There are among us 5 6s. Oh, well, the next person says, I think there's 6 6s at least. Until somebody calls it, you show them, you'll lose cards, deal new ones out. If you like Liar's Dice, and I really do, and you want to not have to carry it, you could literally have this on your person probably at any given time.
I have it on me right now.
That would be great. It's very, very small, and I enjoy it a lot. This is a pretty solid line of games. Like I said, the Paco games. I wanted to pick one that I really liked. This one I really like. And it's neat because it's that bluffing element is very front and center. There's not a lot of fluff in this. That's what you get. I like that.
Man, I need to play some more of these pack of games. I only played a few. Gem is my favorite, I think. Is Gem in the ones you like?
Gem I like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why, again, when I was thinking of tiny games, this is like the ultimate Tiny Games, the pack of games. So
And this
definitely
is
check
the
them out.
ultimate. If I'm playing this game, I'm like, I'm gonna lose some of these cards.
Yes.
I'm gonna
In your
bend
hand.
them.
Where?
No,
Oh, there it is.
exactly. It's in between my fingers. It's right there.
This is how you do card tricks. Where'd the card go?
Yes, exactly. Oh man, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm it's slightly hyperbolic though what I'm saying, but man, it's like, I feel like I'm gonna mess the game up somehow because the
fact that
cards
they
are
are
so small.
The fact that they're really good quality cards helps.
Yeah, it does.
Because they are.
The games are great.
These
What you
cards
said
are
is
very
It's a great line
fine
of
quality, linen finished. You know what you would get from like the U.S. playing card company
Mm-hmm,
quality. Really good.
All right, my number 9 is the largest game on my list. I think box-wise, it's still, well, maybe not. I'm having a hard time visualizing the box. I know it's small, but it's 10-Minute Heist. So 10-Minute Heist, I think it's a slightly taller box from Daily Magic Games, but it's a really small game. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I felt guilty putting this one on, actually.
Really?
So in 10-Minute Heist, you play out a bunch
Celestia
of...
eats that game for breakfast.
Ah, well, that's
A
fine.
light snack right before breakfast.
So in 10-Minute Heist, you basically put out a bunch of cards, and as it's kind of a drafting game. You're dropping down as thieves out of the top of a tower, moving down. You can move down essentially as far as you want, but you can never go back up as you collect the cards. That's pretty much the whole thing. And then you're just collecting them, and you're trying to get sets and ones that are valuable and things like that. I really like it. It's fast, it's simple, and it takes around 10 minutes.
It's nice components there. The artwork. Anyway.
Well, Daily Magic always does great artwork. They're the ones who did the Valeria games and such. So I like this one a lot. It didn't get a ton of buzz, and
I've never played it.
I think it's actually my favorite game from Daily Magic. Well, no, they have a lot of good games, but this one is one of them. For punch per size, 10-Minute Heist is there. So that's my number 9.
Cool.
Number 8.
I like how we are, there was like a theming there, right? Lying and then stealing. What was yours about again?
Lying.
Flying.
Flying, lying, and stealing. Sounds like that's my new movie.
Well, flying the airship.
Flying, lying, and stealing. With John Candy.
What's another word? Is there a word that-
John Candy.
John Candy.
All right, my number 8, if you put all of the different versions of this game together, you've got a lot of stuff. And it would not be tiny that way. But if you just pick your individual style that you like with this game, it's pretty tiny, and that's Timeline.
Oh, sure.
Now,
That's
Timeline,
fine.
there's like, if you like Disney,
worried. I
there's
was like, something's
Timeline
coming.
Disney. If you like Marvel, there's Timeline Marvel, Star Wars Timeline, regular history Timeline, science Timeline. There's just a number of different versions out there, and you can literally want to keep. I just showed you a generic version of it.
I've never even seen that version. That's a really pretty version.
Yeah, I like the way it looks.
French printing of that?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what it
maybe
is.
so. But I've really enjoyed this game, and the people that I've played it with have really enjoyed it as well, because it's. I guess, I mean, it's a game. There are rules that you have to follow, but it also feels like an activity where you're trying to construct a timeline from the different cards that you have.
Right.
And of course, there's going to be a winner because it is a game, but it doesn't feel like competition. It feels more like a challenge, maybe, or an activity or something to that effect. And it's gone over well every single time it's hit the table. So that's my number 8 Timeline.
Well, it is quite probable that as this list goes by, I'm going to give you a lot of garbage over your picks. But this one is amazing. A great pick. So I'm trying to balance it out now. No, this is
feel like I'm
this
being
is one
patronized, but
no. This is one I thought about it, and this is one people actually called that you were going to say. My timelines is all in one big box, but this counts easy. Timeline is that game when we actually have played it on a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
this is a good,
yeah, it works
good
really well.
gift also, since there are so many themes.
Yes.
You can be like, oh, so and so is into this. Bam.
Yep.
Nice mode over. Continue.
Oh, got it. He turns the hat around. Now we need to watch for that. Hey, Tom. Oh, the hat's backwards. I'll come back later.
Never mind.
My number 8 is a game from Reiner Knizia. This is a bidding game called High Society.
Hi. Oh.
The latest printing of this from Osprey Games is gorgeous. They did some. It's got some Art Nouveau look to
really
it.
Looks good.
It's really, really pretty. This is a Again, a kind of a slightly taller box, about that tall, very thin. The cards are large format cards. Very well done production of this game. This game's been around for a long time. I've enjoyed it for a long time, but I think it's sort of been out of print enough that when this hit, maybe last year, it was a new product to a lot of people. So I think it's worth, sort of drumming it up a little bit. And I definitely think if you haven't played it and you're looking for a bidding game that gives you those decisions of, what do I do? Am I in? Am I not in? But does so in 20 minutes or so with, on a knife's edge sort of balancing, this is a really good one. Very, very well produced as well. So High Society, a bidding game, and my number 8 pick.
Yeah, years ago when Love Letter came out, there was the whole micro game genre.
That's right.
And
that was a
everyone
big
was
thing.
trying to make their own micro game, and it really hasn't stuck around that much. There's a few, but it's not.
No, that one kind of died down, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fad to some degree. I mean, we're still seeing them made, but one that was made recently, which this is the smallest game on my list, and that's Mintworks. So they actually came out with a sequel, Mint Delivery, which was okay. I like Mintworks better. Mintworks, it comes in a little tin that looks like a mint tin, and in fact has little white pieces that look like mints in it. It's kind of cute that way.
Okay.
But it's essentially a worker placement game. You place your workers, you're trying to get these cards put in front of you, and they get the stars on them that are worth points, and different workers go to different places, and sometimes special buildings will come out. Small ticket cards, small pile of these little workers that look like mints. It's a really simple game, but offers, I was really impressed with, wow, the bang for the buck. And this is one you can carry around in your front shirt pocket. In fact, no, I can't keep doing that joke because I should have brought one of these in.
We could have easily brought most of these in, what I mean? On our person.
In fact, most of these are so small that the ones I'm keeping in Dice Tower Library, I put in those photo cases and make them bigger.
They get
Just so
lost
people
in the
can
shuffle.
find them, right?
Yeah.
We found that these tiny games are the least played games at conventions because people go and are like, ooh, ooh, ooh. You don't notice this little game in the corner.
Yes, right.
And yet in real life, they're probably one of the most played games sometimes. All right, Mintworks, my number 8.
Maybe so.
Number 7.
Number 7 is
Dead Air!
We're just way.
number 7 can be played in 8 minutes. Which
No, it can't. That's a lie.
no, it actually is supposed to be played in 8
I
minutes.
know, but that's still a lie.
No, it's played in 8 minutes. There's actually a timer.
Oh, you're
And
the
it's played
8-minute
in 8
Empires.
minutes. Spyfall.
I was trying to
Spyfall.
think, when did Sam play 8-minute Empires?
Been had.
Which is a lie, by the way.
That is no, it's
Spyfall
not 8 minutes,
is
yeah, but-
played in 8 minutes. You actually do use a timer. Now, whether or not you are a stickler about how closely you watch that timer, and if you start it and stop it correctly, and when you're supposed to, that might carry it over 8 minutes. But it's supposed to be played with a timer in 8 minutes, and then more often than not, you play it again. And again,
Often
and
it ends
again,
in faster than 8
and
minutes
again.
because
That's true, right?
It can be, yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, the max is 8 minutes, but this is a really cool social deduction game that carries with it some of the trappings that social deduction games have. That being, if one or two people aren't feeling it, it can mess up the game.
Right.
But if you get the right group of people, this game sings. And it is a great, fun time of trying to ask the right question that will give you just enough information to let you know that the person that you're asking the question to isn't the spy, while at the same time not giving too much information to the spy to let him know where everybody else is. So that is my number 7, Spyfall.
It's the same size as Celestia.
that's true. Celestia got bigger. Celestia was initially smaller the first
I
time it
mean,
came out.
Cloud 9.
No.
But technically, each game that you play only uses a deck of about 8 cards.
So what you could do is if you're playing this and on a trip, you could just stick 2 decks in your pocket. You're only going to be able to play it twice.
You also know what they are. I'm
No,
guessing,
you don't.
right?
You just don't look at them. If you're supposed to keep the spy cards in the bottom.
So grab
Yeah.
2 random ones, put them in your pocket,
Yes.
You play through
God.
it twice.
Yes, have some.
That works, I guess. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Where am I at? My number 7 is my escape room pick. You want to play an escape room type game, but you want a small one you can take with you. There's one choice, really. Deckscape.
Oh, yes, you're right. Okay, wait.
Right.
That's a 6 games. What a cheat!
That is a bunch of versions of Deckscape, each one its own standalone game. Take about an hour to play through
Wait a minute.
these.
That's no different than Timeline.
I recognize that counter.
Some of us got to do what we got to do.
Those are mine.
Not anymore. They are yours. I haven't played all of those. I've played some of them. I like the ones I've played. Yeah, some more than others, sure, but these are neat, and they are tiny. They fit it definitely in about a pocket, and you'll play them, be done with it, because they are not replayable, but they also do not get destroyed. Once you are done with this is a great, hey, if you have some time this weekend, here you go, enjoy that. I take an hour out of your day, sit down, solve some puzzles, have some fun. It's a really, I'm not going to say it's a relaxing activity, but this is one of the easiest escape room games to get into. I honestly find all of the other ones slightly intimidating. It's the commitment. That's what it is.
Sure.
It's the idea of, once I start this exit game, I need to finish it. I'm going to play it once. I better get the best experience possible.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way with these. And really, I mean, they're the same kind of thing, but I don't know, they're a little more easygoing maybe. So
Yeah, maybe. Also, if you can't figure it out, you just flip the card over.
that's true.
And you're like, oh, we messed up. Life goes on.
keep on going.
Sometimes the other ones, you're like, what do we do? I don't know what to do.
You're stuck, yeah. So I do like these, and I recommend them, especially if you're starting out in escape room games. Deckscape, my number 7 pick.
They also do one of the best jobs of keeping everyone engaged. Usually it has a way for everyone to work on the puzzle at the same time.
Yeah. They got better at that with the later ones too.
All right, my number 7 is an Oink game.
Here we
Oink
go.
makes, well, all their games are small. This whole
They
list
are.
could be Oink games, really.
From here
However-
on out, my picks are all Oink.
However, most of their games I find to be okay. They have a couple good ones, and this one is one of those, and that's A Fake Artist Goes to New York
From Oink.
from Oink. Stop. And from who else made the game? No one did.
No, nobody did.
Yeah, Fake Artist Goes to New York. Now, actually, I wish this was a little bit bigger, probably, just because I wouldn't mind. It's just such a small game.
That's my
Everyone
issue
will
with
break
most
it.
of their games, honestly. Not most of them, okay? The ones I like. I would be perfectly fine if it was slightly bigger.
Well, anyway, this one is, and also these markers are the highest of quality.
Yeah.
Well, look, what do you do? Anyway, so in Oink, I mean, oh no.
Mark
In
that
Fake
into
Artist
that
Goes to New York, everyone is drawing a picture. Someone decides what the picture is going to be.
Yeah.
They're not playing that round. Everyone else, they write a word down, and everyone's board except one board says
Nothing.
nothing, right?
Whatever, make it
You
up.
pass it out, and everyone draws one line or one, holding the pen down and the marker down and not moving it. You make a picture, and you have to figure out who didn't know what you were drawing.
Right, you all paint together, basically.
Right. Except the person who doesn't know what's going on is trying to guess the picture, and if they guess correctly, they win.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be too obvious. I really like it. Spyfall
This
is the
is
art
the
game.
artist
It's like Spyfall,
version
right.
of Spyfall.
Yes, but this one's small.
So is Spyfall.
Okay, so my number 7 is A Fake Artist, me,
check the
goes
hat.
to New York.
Goes to New York. By who?
Susumu
Jun Sasaki.
Jun
Who
Sasaki.
publishes that?
Jun Sasaki, it's his company.
Roy, hit it.
Number 6.
All right. My number 6 is a small-ish game, I guess.
Here we go.
And this is where I'm going to break from games that I've talked about on other lists before. I may have mentioned this one, but I don't remember having done so. But it is a good game. Keyforge. And it is. You can play with just 2 decks. You don't have to buy anything else with it. All of the other things that come with it are very small. It doesn't take a large footprint on the table, so it is, in my opinion, a tiny game, but it packs a lot of punch. and that's why it's on my list. I've not played this a whole lot, mainly because I usually have to rely on playing other people's decks right now. I don't have my own. But when I have played it, it has been a very good time. I like how the different houses, I guess, or factions work within themselves, and I like having to choose rather a specific faction and use their abilities during each turn. So I enjoy this game a lot, and it's really fun. I'm not that great at it, but it is fun, and I do enjoy it. My number 6, Keyforge.
It's a good pick.
Yeah, if you're going by this box, I wouldn't say small, but the actual decks come in those two small
sure.
things.
Yeah, you just you can put 2 decks and 1 deck protector,
Yeah, that's true.
and with being sleeved,
Double sleeved.
That's the way you do
because
it.
that's the way it should be done.
I didn't even know double sleeving existed until Gen
There's
Con.
triple
I
sleeving.
used to when I collected sports cards. I used to double sleeve some of them. They're really
They're rare, yeah. You got those plastic ones too. It's not a sleeve, but it's like a plastic sleeve.
no. That's what
kind
you
of.
would do. You would
Yeah,
put regular
sleeve
sleeves
and then put them in the
put
plastic.
it inside the plastic.
And then you
Sure,
take
but
that,
now-
you wrap it in cellophane.
See,
And
we couldn't stop.
Sorry, I
at-
tried to get through that without crackery, but I couldn't.
All right,
I had to crack on you.
No, they actually make smaller sleeves now that go in larger sleeves so people can double sleeve them for card games.
yes.
I just feel like that borders on insanity.
Not if you want to protect your thing, and you use it a lot. I mean, it's mainly
I
for tournament
guess.
players. Tournament players who are shuffling their cards maniacally many times.
House Mars. all right. Go.
Wow.
Is it me?
Yes.
Here I go. I don't even know what number we're on anymore.
6.
All right, my number 6 pick is a push your luck game called Kodachi. This is from WizKids. Yes,
That's
yes.
Kodachi.
That one.
Kodachi.
That's fine. Yeah, that one.
No, Kodachi is Korean, not that.
Just go.
That game there
It's not Korean.
is my pick. It's a card game version of Ninjato, which has been out of print now for some time. They reworked it. One of the
Really?
co-designers of that game reworked this one and
Ooh, I
made it
did not
into
know
a
that.
card game. And it is very much about pushing your luck now. So was the original one.
I like
This
that
is
book.
much more streamlined.
Ooh.
You are simply, every time you are playing, going to decide on your turn if you want to continue fighting. You flip a new encounter, discard a card from your hand to best them, or stop and collect some cards that you'll be trading in for bonuses, powers, victory points, what have you. It plays really well. I've enjoyed it a lot. I think it's ultimately better than the original game. It does about as much with fewer components. It packs a punch for a card game. It retains the main core mechanisms of the original one. You know, the idea of fighting with strength, i.e. you play cards that are higher than the guy you're fighting, or stealth, lower. That's still the core mechanism. And I really, really, really like it. Also, it manages to keep every player engaged every turn, because after you fight and back out, let's say, you win, whatever, you'll take some of the cards from the ones you just flopped over. Every other player also gets one. So I'm still like watching what's coming up, thinking about, okay, I want that card because it'll let me pay for this one later on, that stuff. So this is very good. My number 6 pick, that game.
I haven't played that one. I'll have to try it. My number 6, I think you haven't played, but you played the prequel and did not care for one of the rules, but they changed the rule in the sequel, and now I like the game. And that is Hokkaido.
Oh, yeah,
So
right.
this is
right,
the
right.
follow-up to Honshu, I think was your first game?
Honshu, yeah.
Honshu was like a trick-taking game in which you... I don't remember. It was like trick-taking. Now it's just drafting. Drafting is so much faster.
It was a drafting game
It was a
originally
drafting-
anyway. They just pretended it was a trick-taking
Yeah,
game.
but it was a weird one here.
100%.
Like if you played the highest number, you whatever. Now you just draft and you build these cards into a land in front of you, and then you get points in various ways for having a big, having cities split between the mountains, having different cubes, and being able to put them on other spots. It's very basic scoring, but it's pretty simple, and it also feels good to. I like these city building games that have the nice thing in front of you. So I don't think you played this one.
I haven't played this one yet.
Although you can, and the rule book here, they're like, oh, you could also play Honshu with these rules, which you can. Or you can play this game with Honshu rules, which you shouldn't.
Right.
You know, because there's such a major change for me. And
The
so,
trick-taking thing was ill-advised.
yeah, so I really like this one, Hokkaido.
Cool.
Number 5.
My number 5, we're back to games that I've talked about before. And that is, what? What?
It's either Bang or Hanami Koji.
Dude, you took my 2 choices.
No.
Well, those 2 are coming up. There's no
Hero Realms.
Okay, that one too. Fine, that one's coming up.
Actually, I didn't choose.
Wait, are you sure you don't want to put Star Realms? Star Realms is actually smaller.
No, it's not.
Actually, this falls in, well, the original one, it came in that deck. It was one little deck.
Yeah, but not now. Not now.
No, I'm saying both these games fall prey to what I said earlier with his. It was,
Yeah.
hey, this is Hero Realms. Also, here's Hero Realms.
Big box that you can put all your stuff in.
Do they have a big box for this?
Yes.
For both of them, I think.
Yes, they do. But Hero Realms, I'm just talking about the base set, where it comes with the, basically just 2 decks, and you can play that way. But I would say that you need to have the character packs to go along with the base set. And I didn't include any of the pictures of that, but I'm just saying that. Hero Realms really is, I think, my favorite of the 2. I really enjoyed Star Realms, but I like the graphics, the artwork of Hero Realms better than Star Realms. Not that Star Realms I think is bad, I just like this one better, that's all. And I really enjoyed the character packs that really came with Hero Realms first, and then they have since added them to Star Realms as well. But neither here nor there. If you like sci-fi, go with Star Realms. If you like fantasy, go with Hero Realms. They're the same game, just with different skins on them. That's all it is. But Hero Realms is a really, really fun game, and it is tiny, in my opinion. So that is my number 5, Hero Realms.
Yeah, I like them both, but I mean, again, I think I picked Star Realms because I think I like the space theme better than
Yeah.
I'm always.
Hero.
My issue is I like the space one better, but I also think I agree with Sam. I think this one looks better. I like this artwork more.
Well, the
So I'm
space one,
always
all the
like,
ships look
oh,
very
you know,
similar except Blob. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Blob!
Yeah.
Right.
And then, Blob! So I usually play with the Blob ships because I remember what they look like.
Huh. Okay. All right, my number 5 pick is a cooperative card game called The Grizzled. And
I just saw this box out there, it ain't small.
that is the Armistice edition, which is considerably larger than the original one. They have included the expansion at your orders in it, sort of. They've also
Good at minis for no reason.
they included minis for certainly no reason. Yeah, well, cost. So it's more pricey. But also, they sort of took the expansion stuff and some new concepts and legacified it. You kind of unlock it as you go.
That's
Legacified.
a real word.
To legacify.
And you know me, I'm the king of grammar.
I would have said legalize it, but I don't. Yeah, that's not gonna work out. The Grizzled still feels like a push your luck game, but it's about the cooperation between discarding cards to no man's land, the center of the table, without busting. That's how you want to do it, and you want to empty your hand. You just can't always do that. You also end up with conditions on you, placed on you, that affect what you can and cannot do, your abilities in the game. It's tricky. It's hard to do well, actually. And the expansion I thought was great. The new one seems very good also, but there's a lot of repetition there with the original and the new one. And if you just want something small and portable that still has plenty of play in it, then the original one, I think, would work for you. I've played it quite a bit. I've always enjoyed it. The Grizzled, cooperative card game from Come On, my number 5 pick.
All right, my number 5 pick was smaller. The first time it was printed, got a little bit bigger the second time, but it's still small, and that is Archaeology. It was called Archaeology the card game, then Archaeology New Expedition, which was a slightly bigger box. Didn't need to be. They added some tiles, I guess, instead of cards.
This probably would have been my 11.
Yeah, that's such a great game. If you never played Archaeology, it's such a simple game. You are literally drawing cards, and then you try to collect sets by trading cards with the middle, trying maybe to cut maps that way you look in a pile of cards that no one else can get to. And every once in a while, a sandstorm comes and gets rid of half your cards, but you have to realize that you can always lay a set down in front of you. It may not just not be that worth that many points. There's a lot of luck involved in the game, decent amount of strategy, plays fairly quickly. I don't know what it is. This game just, it's like, boom, it's a great filler. This is like one of the ultimate fillers.
You were talking about Red 7 kind of being your Uno or like an Uno-esque game.
Yeah.
This fits that category for me. I'm not saying, I know that might sound like I'm saying something negative, okay? I just mean that it's a quick filler. It is incredibly approachable.
Oh, yeah, you can teach this to
I have
anybody.
played this with folks I would not attempt to play most of the games I own with, and this works. It's just that light and simple. It's that cadence of, on your turn, you draw a card. There's that thing to like traditional card games. Draw a card, maybe make a couple of changes. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna give up this 4 for 2 2s. Play a set. That's it. Like, and then the action cards are very obvious also. Like, oh, I got a sandstorm, or like a thief
Right.
even. A thief is you draw a thief, discard it, and steal a card from someone. That's it.
Which is normally something I wouldn't like in a game.
Right,
But
that's
it
what
works
I'm
in this
saying.
game. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Also, if I see you trade 2 cards for the 4, I'll be like, okay, next time I get a thief, I know who I'm stealing from.
Right. Yeah. It's enjoyable.
So, yeah, a lot of fun. And they added slight bit of complexity in the new one, which you could ignore if you want to with those
Sure.
tiles. But
Sure.
it also makes it a little more gamer, or also mostly adds some diversity. But, yeah, this is a solid game.
It's also considerably more beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And the card
Well,
quality.
Phil Walker
everything.
Harding, fantastic designer, not necessarily fantastic artist.
Yeah, the original was from his company, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Woo, we're getting the good ones now.
My number 4 is a game that is a 2-player game, and it looks like I haven't really thought about this, but the last 3 of my games have been 2-player games.
Well, a lot of small games are
Then
by
there's
nature
going to be another
two-player.
one coming up, but this one is Onitama. Now, Onitama comes in a freakishly shaped box. Now, it didn't used to, but now it comes in a
Well, it's not like I like the original box either. It was just some big flat box. It was the components for the
I'm
first
just
one were
saying
garbage.
the box that it comes in now is considerably larger than the one that it used to come in. But it is still, in my opinion, a very a tiny game, and the component quality, which I love, is the only reason it's as big as it is now, so that it can fit all those miniatures in the box and that type of thing. But really, this is a very, it's very much an abstract strategy game where you only have 5 moves between the two of you, and you're going to be cycling those moves between each other. So when your opponent beats you, he literally beats you with the same moves that you had
box.
available to you. No, not the box. And it's a great 2-player game, back and forth, and it's another one of those games where you are probably going to play it multiple times in a row because it plays that quickly. And I really like it when games do that, because it feels like you just get more playtime out of them, even though the amount of time you played it isn't as much as one of this other game. But you've played it so many more times, it just feels like you have more experience with it. I like games that do that. So that's my number 4, Onitama.
All right, my number 4 is a trick-taking game called Monster Trick.
Tiny
think-
monsters?
I don't think you've played this Monster Trick.
Well, we'll look at the box eventually. There we go.
Thank you. This one is a
That's
very
a poo monster on
it's
the
a
front.
very clever trick-taking game. Have you played this game?
No, I never even heard of it.
Okay, so the way this works is, it's a game in which you are trying to predict how many tricks you will take, but you don't straight up predict them, okay? You have 3 little cards in front of you, those like 3 orange, 3 purple cards. They have victory points on the other side, escalating because you play 3 hands. And so let's say during the second hand, for example, I think it is 2, 4, and 6 victory points. I'll arrange those 3 however I want to. And I might put the 6 first, then the 2, and then the 4. If I win a single trick, I reveal that first card. And it stays face up. But if I win another trick, I flip that one face down and flip the next one face up. Which means if I'm intended to take only one trick, perhaps, if I've taken 2, I better take 2 more to come back to the 6, because it'll cycle back around.
Oh. Also, if I see that you've taken one trick and it's a 6,
You try to
I will
give
do
me
my
one.
best to give you another one.
That's
'cause-
right. Here's the other thing on top of that. You are playing 4 simultaneous tricks in this game. And you can play to any of the 4, which means you can try to short suit yourself elsewhere before you have to play over here. That sounds tricky. It actually works really well, and it's fairly smooth.
Why have you not talked about this before? This sounds cool.
It's a very nice game. I enjoy it a lot. I have taught it, I was at Origins last year, I think. Taught this to a couple of folks there. They had a blast with it. It usually goes over really well. If you already like trick-taking games, it'll be an easier teach, of course. But even not, and even if you don't, this is not that complicated. My explanation probably sounds slightly more complicated than really it is. It's a straightforward game. And it's not too long. You play those 3 hands, and you're done. Figure out what your score was. So I really like this one. One of my favorite trick-taking games, Monster Trick.
All right. My number 4 is another Winky game. This one actually has been reprinted also from Oh, wait. Or you can find an alternate version from Bezier Games, from Werewords. but I'm picking the smaller of the 2, which is Insider. So
Okay.
Insider or Werewords, they're very close to being the same game.
Okay.
Insider is basically 20 questions with a group, but one person is a traitor. You don't know who that person is. You're trying to figure that out. And I really like it. It's just so simple. The first time I played this at a convention, I think we played it like 10 times in a row. Just kept playing it and playing it. Someone come by and be like, hey, sit down and play this game.
That was at BGG Con.
Yeah, and then someone would leave, and I'd be like, "Hey, you, get over here and play this." It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what is this coolness? And then we played it on a cruise. I sat in the cruise, and I was just like, "All right, sit down, play the game. You're bored? All right, you come here." And I just kept playing it. I really like it.
Yeah, it's very easy to play.
I
And
didn't understand it. It's literally 20 questions.
with a traitor.
I like 20 questions anyway. I mean,
Yeah, like I will say that the 20 questions thing, I play with my kids in the car all the time. It's not all the time, but a lot. I like 20 questions. I like
Right,
that
this is 20
stupid
questions.
app on the internet that you ask you questions and then you see if it guesses what you're thinking of. And it's like this. It blows my mind. It will figure it out in 7 questions sometimes.
Huh.
There's a thing on the internet, I forget what it's called, but it will ask you questions, and it's a very rare thing that it will not guess it in 20 questions.
It's called Skynet.
I'm yes. Yes. Anyway, Insider, a lot of fun, and this is my favorite Oink game. These were the only 2 that made the list for me. I know there's other ones that people said are good, but I have not played them. Probably the ones I played from Oink are
Number 3.
Stop telling me to do it. Now stop it.
I'm not even talking to you.
All right.
real.
My number 3.
TI3, because that's not as big as.
Technically, right?
No. My number 3, when I first played Good Cop, Bad Cop, I really enjoyed it. But now this version came out.
You put
and
this on more top 10 lists than I think people who have played the game.
That is not true. Because I doubt that I've put this on more than 5, and it takes more than that to play a game of it. So,
Okay,
He
fine.
got you, man. He got you with cold, hard math.
so Patriots and Redcoats is my number 3. This is really fun. It plays a lot like Good Cop, Bad Cop in that you have 3 roles, 3 roll cards in front of you, and it either says, well, it can say a couple of different things. It either says Patriot or Redcoat, or it'll say Patriot Commander or Redcoat Commander. If you have Redcoat Commander or Patriot Commander, you are one of that side, no matter what the other 2 cards are. If you don't have one of those 2, you are the frequency of your roll cards is going to determine what side you're on. If you have 2 Redcoats and 1 Patriot, then you're a Redcoat, and so forth and so on. So you're trying to figure out who's on what side, but you're also trying to win a certain number of wars by having a war council and have it successfully go on your side. It's really fun. I've done less than stellar job of explaining it, but it is a really fun game, and I enjoy it a lot. My number 3, Patriots and Redcoats.
I agree with everything you said.
Wow! Wow!
Shut up.
That was cold.
I
That's
was
the meanest
expecting
thing you
it.
said all day.
I was trying to be supportive.
No, wait. You said something before we started the camera that was meaner.
To who?
Probably to me.
No, I'm kidding. I don't listen to you guys. All right, my number 3 is a 2-player drafting game called Caper. This is from
You've
Keymaster.
been playing this a lot lately,
This
I
is a
think.
fantastic game, and it's a reprint of a game I really enjoyed from before called It's Mine. I believe it's a Spanish design from Spain, and they reprinted it. Really nice components, great artwork.
How do you say that in Spanish? It's mine.
Es mío?
Is that the name of the game?
No, it's called It's Mine.
Easy.
Disappointing.
Yeah, I guess so. This feels, before I played Seven Wonders Duel, this felt like Seven Wonders for 2 people. Not that Seven Wonders Duel feels like Seven Wonders because of that drafting from the table thing. This is
Sure.
actual drafting. You will play a card. You will pass your hand to the other player. They give you theirs. You will play, and you are
Sam,
hiring.
you got to play this. You like drafting.
I do.
It's really good. You're hiring thieves, basically, to place them in front of locations.
More thievery in your
Yeah.
list.
And to those thieves, you give equipment. So you give them equipment, and you are trying to combine all sorts of different things. Like this thief, for every one of these type of equipments, they'll give you a 1 influence point there, stuff like that. Really solid, quick game. It takes about 20 minutes to play. And I'm fairly certain I have never played this game once in a sitting.
Yeah.
I've always played this more than once. It also helps that it comes with 3 cities you can loot, and you'll, take out London and shuffle in Paris, and that'll change it up a little bit. That's usually what I've done. If I play multiple times, I'll mix it up. So yeah, fantastic game. If you're looking for a 2-player game, you like drafting, you haven't heard of this, I recommend it strongly. Really fantastic. Caper.
I will have to try this. All
Number
right.
3.
My number 3 is a great little game that I have played often at conventions because it's usually one of those games like, I don't think you guys have played this, even though it was popular for a while, from Yellow, and that is Welcome to the Dungeon, or its sequel, Welcome Back to the Dungeon. Very small little game, and it's you pick one of 4 adventurers, you're going to take them through a dungeon all together, and one of you is going to be that adventurer. And you slowly either take equipment away from them or make the dungeon harder, or you drop out. Last person to drop out has to go through.
Right.
And it's just so much fun. I really have a good time with this one. It's I want to say it's 2 to 4 players. I don't know why I thought it was 5, but 2 to 4. I play it. It works really well with 2 people. I play it with my wife, and it works well with a group of people too. And I don't know. There's a lot to like about this game for me. Welcome Back at slight complexity, like some boss monsters, and then you can mix them or whatever. They both work fine. You guys
So-
like this one, I think.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it all right. It's been ages since I played it, but I
Yeah.
remember it being very original. I liked the idea of
Well, it was originally called Kingdom of Man. Oh, this is a Oink game, isn't it?
this is an old game, yeah.
There.
Man,
You're
don't-
right. It was originally
Isn't
a
it?
game from that company.
Yeah. You're right.
And then, it says it down there in the corner. You're right. And then Yellow reprinted it, but since they,
The Piggy Company.
a pox upon you, Healy. Since Oink Games does not necessarily like having other companies reprint their games differently, they no longer do this much. This was one of them, and unfortunately, this one kills the Kingdom of Mancom or whatever. This was so much nicer.
Yeah.
I like it. Welcome to the dungeon.
Cool.
Thought you were going to sing it, but you always do.
I was gonna, but
But it said you decide to oink 10 times.
yeah, I can only go with 1 gag at a time, man. Come on.
He goes with like 3 sometimes.
Yeah, he overdoes it. He's an overactor.
Well, I never.
Number 2.
All right.
Otter says, I'm not wrong. Welcome to the Dungeon is great.
I never did. We didn't disagree with
No,
you.
well, he paid to say that comment.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
My
Otter.
wallet. If I have my wallet, I'd pull out a couple bucks and be like, "You're wrong."
Wrong.
I'd be like, okay.
You would.
For that, I will
That's how that
accept.
works when you spend a lot of time on the internet, kids.
Yep.
Just
All
take
right.
the $2.
My number 2, you've probably been waiting for it. This is another 2-player game. It has 2 versions,
Here we
2
go.
skins. You can either go out and get Hanami Koji, or you can go out and get Jishia Academy. These 2 are essentially the exact same game. There's no
How do you say
difference.
the second one?
Jishia Academy.
That's hard.
It's a
I know, but it doesn't look. It looks like Jixia. I know that's what it is. I'm just saying it's hard for me to remember that.
Jishia. So it is
that's pretty.
essentially the exact same game. The artwork is just different, and the background setting is different.
Oh, one is women, the other is men.
Yes, that's correct.
Huh.
You are trying to gain the favor of what are they called?
Humans,
Yes, sure.
I think I like the first artwork better.
which is the first.
The top, the
Got it.
geishas, right?
Yeah, the geishas. There you go. That's what I was trying to think. But I believe it's the same artist. It's the same artist, just two different sets. But anyway, the thing that makes this game really good to me is are the excruciating choices that you have to make during the game. Usually, it is very much based upon this idea of I split, you choose, and if you get beat, largely it's because you gave the people what they needed to beat you.
Right.
Because you made basically a wrong choice, or maybe you were banking on something else coming up out of the deck that didn't come up, whatever it might be. But it's a really tight, I don't want to say excruciating because it really doesn't hurt, but it does. There's a little bit of I really don't want to do this, but I have to because I have to
get up
choose
and I
one
walk
of these
away.
4 things. No, that's not.
Hey Sam, someone asked this, and I would like to ask that question too.
Okay, go
Why
ahead.
did they make a new version?
I don't know. I didn't even know they made another version until I saw Jishia Academy.
That's
at
right.
Cool
it came
Stuff.
in, or yeah, we saw
No,
it. And you
it
were
ca-
like, "What's?"
Yep.
You said this looks familiar or something to that
No,
effect.
it does, and I opened it up no. I bought this one. I bought Jishia Academy after I knew that it was available. I saw it I saw it in the store, and no, I saw it on a tweet or something like that, and then I went and found it.
No, there must have been something. But
So-
they took the number off. The first one wasn't numbered in their numbered series.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
I have no idea why, but Deepwater Games is putting this one out. I know that Quick Simple Fun Games was doing Hanami Koji. Maybe that has something to do with it. I have no idea. But both versions are great because they're the same game. Number 2, Hanami Koji or Jishia Academy.
Dose. Okay, my number 2 is a deduction game. This also happens to be cooperative, but it's the central idea here is deduction. It's called the Shipwreck Arcana. I've talked about this quite a bit lately as well. I got to play it again at Dice Tower Con, and it's a game all about drawing 2 tokens out of a bag, playing one somewhere on the table to one of these cards face up there, and having the rest of the group try to deduce which one I'm still holding. The numbers go 1 through 7, as you can see there. That is your own set in front of you. That one is there just to help other people flip some face down and help the decision process. But there's also that bag filled with these tokens. You draw 2, keep 1, play the other one face up, try to figure it out. That's it. You try to do that more times than the game hurts you back, and if you do so, you win together. It's a very small game. This toes the line between, like I would say it's a micro game only because it's also a deduction game. Most deduction games have a decent amount of stuff in them. This one managed to do deduction with a handful of tokens and a few cards. It's not even that large a deck of cards.
That's cool.
I really like it. I love teaching this game because it does not look like much on the table. It's so small. And I get tons of great reactions through the entire play. It blossoms. There's a lot of people who eventually are like, okay, this is thinking.
Reactions.
Give
I'm giving
I
his
saw,
reaction.
and they're awful. There's $2.
So your game.
This is not my game. I didn't make it. That's my number
I meant the
one.
one you were designing.
Is this like the Magic Shipwreck? Is that what that is?
I don't know. It's called the Shipwreck Arcana, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe the
Magic
ship is
Shipwreck.
called Arcana and then it was wrecked.
The Arcana
Correct.
Shipwreck.
Anyway, my number 2 pick, the Shipwreck Arcana.
All right, my number 2 was a micro game before micro games were cool. Way back in the day, and it's been reprinted, I think, 6 times. I'm not sure.
No.
Thanks.
No.
No thanks.
Yes. Well, hey, you're going to set me up. I'm going to take it. Amigo is the current company that does this. This is, I think, their current version of the game, although they have a
Oh,
really...
actually, the game was no thanks. Wow.
That's the
I did
best
set
looking
you up.
version of the game.
I did not
right
realize
there.
what the game was.
Huh?
That's the best looking version of the game. Right there.
It is.
the best.
That is,
Period.
I think. No.
No. That Mayfair made that one to change colors. I really like that one.
No, the best
it's
one
so
is the.
garish.
Oh, no, there's
the new
what
one.
about that weird Amigo one we got that had
Yeah,
like all
with the little kid. It's like a little cartoon. Bad things are happening. to
bad
him.
things are happening to you, so you don't want any of them. So, like, there's
I've
like...
never seen that one.
Oh, well, it's in our library.
All
It's-
the ones
it's
that I
That's
see
the
hilarious.
best.
are
That is the
these
best.
numbers and they're garish colors, and I just liked that.
You like that plain boring one?
It
Better than those.
looked better.
No, not this. I'm saying there was one where the cards were full color, and if you put them all in order, it changed color through the deck. I like that one a lot. Mayfair did it.
Okay.
I know it's weird to say Mayfair Quality is my favorite one, but they're out of business. They won't get mad at me.
They're gonna come back and get you.
Anyway, no
real.
thanks. A really simple game, and this is one that Z was talking about earlier with the archaeology. You could play with anybody. I have never had someone not get no thanks. Oh, almost
you
never.
didn't get it for like years. What are you talking about? That's why people not get
That's
it.
a minor thing. Who cares?
I'll tell you what, it's not fun size. All right, you done messed this up for years.
It
Finally learned how to play.
is an amazing game. I like it a lot. No thanks.
No, thanks.
And finally, number 1.
I'm sorry, Thomas. I'm sorry, I was kidding.
Here, roll your die. Sam, you're white.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. High
I don't
roll.
like being profiled. Thank you very much.
That's a 5.
That's a 5, and it stays a 5 regardless of what Sam does.
And that's a 4. That's also a 5. So
Oh.
it's me first.
Because you said things negate each other.
I did say that last time, didn't I? Yeah,
Yep.
Z. Go ahead. What's
All right,
the deal?
fine,
I know yours and yours.
You do?
Oh, come on now. Yours got to be obvious.
You don't know mine. I bet you don't mess
No,
up.
you don't know it. I guarantee you 100% you don't know what it is.
Really?
And if you do, I really missed something. Now I'm scared for my life.
No way. This has got to be your number 1.
I'm really terrified. I'll go first just to put me out of myself out of the misery. It'll be myself, then Sam, and then I guess Mr. Nobody Knows over here. Oh, Mr. Being Tall is Cool.
Being tall is cool.
All right, what is it? What's my number 1?
Oh, Nyram.
Oh, you done messed up, didn't you?
It's
You
not.
done messed.
That's a
That's
really small game.
Yes,
The original
it is.
printing was. Second edition's not that small.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought for sure that's what it was.
I feel like somebody's trying to justify some messing up.
Now it's kind
Somebody
of
done
it's
forgot
kind of a
about their
chunky
favorite
game.
game.
I will say,
But
though,
anyway,
that I was
That's a
afraid
good
when
one.
I
It's
went,
solo game. That's your pick.
when I went through this, I really thought there's a lot of games I'm missing. And I've even seen a couple people mention it. I was like, huh,
Yeah.
that is a good one. But
Yeah.
So what is it
No,
then?
it's a roll and write. Again, I didn't have a roll and write on the list. I
It's
got
the
like
very first one.
Is that that
Oh,
one
okay,
where
so
you
of all the
draw
roll
on the
rights.
board?
this is a very new one.
So it's not St. Malo. That's actually, I think, one of your
Big
favorites.
also,
Yeah.
This is a very, very new one. It's from a
Silver
designer
and
that's
gold.
already been mentioned.
Silver and gold.
And it is going to be published in English.
Silver and gold.
It's been silver and gold. All right, it's silver and gold.
Wait,
That's
what's
right.
it called?
This is coming out from Pandasaurus in the near future, if I'm not mistaken. So you'll be able to get it much more easily.
Yeah, this is a
This
great-
is fantastic. You are going to be flipping over cards that give you patterns, Tetris-style patterns. You will mark them off on your maps. And then once you complete a map, You bank that, draw a new one, place it in front of you, keep on exploring. There's a couple of little things you can mark off on the cards that give you bonuses. You can dig up gold, find palm trees, things like that. It's a real breezy game. I like that about it the best, I think.
Yeah.
The cards are also dry erase cards.
A flipping right. It is not a rolling right.
Wow, sure.
Yeah.
I call all
Someone
those
was on the
roll
internet
right.
was saying maybe we should call them reveal and rights.
No, I like flipping right.
It just. Are you playing on one of those flipping right games?
That's right.
All right.
Are you playing one of those rolling right games that manners of minutes?
Monsieur Roland.
Here's the thing, though. I don't know that I would disagree. If talking about of these kind of style games, this is definitely in the top for me in this
You
one.
like it?
And
You
it's
played
so
it?
simple.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my number 11 that should have been in my top 5 because I forgot about this.
Oh, you like this one that much?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
very
good
much
stuff,
so.
man. If you haven't played it, again, keep an eye out for that Pandasaurus edition coming
Yeah,
out.
absolutely.
Really
Well,
good
actually, I think Roy could quick change the graph and make this your number one.
No,
because
it's
your number
good.
one, no one wants to hear about again.
Go ahead. What is it?
It's got
stuff.
to be Bang the Dice game.
It is not. It is Age of War, which is smaller than Bang the Dice.
Oh, that's true. There are 2 dice games that are always on his list.
Trixies!
Oh, Age of War. That's
Trixies,
right.
Hobbits!
Knizia Lover.
I
Actually, I thought maybe God Save the Queen
I enter.
or Goth Save the Queen. I thought might be on your list too.
No, I mean that
maybe I
was
like
a
that
very
more than you.
specific 4x4. Huh?
I said maybe I like that one more than you.
Goth Save the Queen?
Yeah.
Just put it on a list.
I just put it on the list and you were mocking me for it.
Yeah, he doesn't want that kind of treatment
I mean,
twice in a row.
Actually, he said unmerited diss because of what you said about God Save the Queen. So you confused.
And now I'm confused. What happened?
Go back and watch it. There's actually comments about you doing an unmerited diss on God Saves the Queen.
When?
Him.
When do you mean when?
Last
Last week.
in this
we did-
episode?
well, last
no,
time.
not
No.
in this episode.
Oh,
What? Is he having a stroke right now?
I mean, we need to call
No, that's what I'm
911.
confused about.
What do you mean in this episode? What is
The
going?
2v2 games was the last
You
list
okay?
we did.
Oh, sorry.
Turn your hat around, you crazy man. There you go. You're all right. You're all right. Deep breaths, baby.
Okay, I got it. All right, go
Pulled
ahead.
that a little too hard, didn't they?
No, I think
Pull something loose.
I just said it was. Just go. No, not God Save the Queen. No.
You were thinking about it. Yeah, you're confused.
I'm thinking of what's the game where you have that came in 2 versions with the steampunk version and the princess version.
Long live the Queen.
Long Live the Queen. Sorry, wrong name.
You're okay?
He's
That
okay.
I thought would be on your list. Is what I'm saying.
That's a good one, but I didn't. That was probably, if I would have thought of it, which I didn't, it wouldn't have made the list.
Okay,
Because I do enjoy it, but it's
that is what I'm talking about. And I shot what gets hand back to the game that is not as overused as Bang, so you can talk about it.
okay. Cool. Age of War is basically a fun way to play Yahtzee.
I agree.
Because you're rolling dice and
Okay.
you're placing those, trying to get a certain groupings, I guess you could say, of characteristics, so that I can take this castle and it be part of my tableau. Once you get a complete set of castles, you can flip them all over and they're locked in. But until that time, those castles can be taken from you if the other opponents at the table roll those same combinations. So it's really cool back and forth. I don't remember if this game has ever gone poorly for me. Every time I've played this, it's been very fun, and everybody's enjoyed it. So really enjoy it. It has great component quality.
That's true.
The cards are a little, I wouldn't say chintzy,
I'm
but
actually surprised they haven't made a Star Wars version
they
of this yet.
warp. They warp easily. But
I'm surprised they haven't made a Star Wars version of this yet.
I don't. That would feel cheap to me.
I'm not arguing that point.
That
I'm
would
just
feel
saying I'm
cheap.
surprised they're
That
not
would feel
making
cheap.
one. That's all.
I'm glad they've stuck with the Japanese.
I'm surprised. Yeah, that's
Motif.
a good call.
Because they did the
Surprised,
other
too.
one, the
They
CIA
did.
one, and I
The
figured they would.
Empire's Rebellion versus whatever, whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, some Star Trek crap. But yeah, you're right. They haven't
is
done it,
strong.
but they should. That could be
That's my
Darth
number one.
Sidious.
Age of War.
All right, my
What do you
number
got?
one is
Wait, we got a guess on this.
it's a deck of cards only. That's the only components in the game.
Bicycle.
Oh, you.
Bicycle deck of cards.
Oh, that's that cop out. Like my number one is a 52 card deck because you could play lots of games
That is
with it.
kind of a cop out.
If anyone had done that, we would have given you
Just
garbage.
a deck of cards.
He better not say what he was joking
It
about.
is not the mind.
Okay,
It is
I'm
not.
about-
I like the
about-
mind. It just didn't. It wouldn't. I don't know. It would make my top 20. It's like a amusing activity.
Just a deck of cards.
Yeah. Now they kept
Is it a
adding.
game for only 2 people?
No, it can go up to 5. I think. It is a push your luck game. Steve Jackson reprinted it and then stopped because it didn't sell well for them.
Oh, that's that port one.
Port Royale. Now,
Yeah.
Steve Jackson's version was this big, but the original one is a much
Yeah, you
smaller
really
box.
love this
Really.
game. You just adore this thing.
I really do. I like the push your luck aspect of it. There's a lot of variants of it, honestly. There's like 3 different versions, and it's really confusing. Base game's fine, really, and I don't mind adding a few other things. You just keep flipping cards until you
Yeah.
get busted, or you put them in front of you, and then they give you special abilities
Sure.
and/or points. I like it. It's really fun. Port Royal,
cool.
and very specifically the Pegasus version. Even though the Steve Jackson version used the same cards essentially, just in an ugly box, and then they
bigger.
wondered like, why didn't it sell? I know.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. I remember that box was not great.
So anyway, Port Royal. All right. So what did we not say that we should have said?
Bang the dice game.
Some people said it for sale, but for sale comes in a box like it's a pretty
Once you
big
get
box.
The yellow box. It's pretty small and yellow. The yellow box is small.
Oh, is it? Have I seen that one?
It's only in French, I think.
Yeah, okay, but that's why I didn't put for sale on my list because the box was bigger. Someone mentioned earlier Illusion. I just forgot it. It would have probably replaced Red 7 for me. Illusion, where you turn the card over, you have to guess.
Oh, it's like
You have to-
Timeline with
It's
colors.
like Timeline with
Yeah, yeah,
Colors.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
really like that game.
Illusion?
Yeah, Illusion.
Illusion, okay.
Oh, Illusion is not a game.
That's not the same thing.
Jaipur. Friday? What about Friday?
Friday.
Yeah, it's good. It's fine. Yeah, I just didn't. I guess out of all my categories, one of them wasn't solo games. You know.
Someone asked, do the
was loud,
Descartes blue box games count for size?
Yeah, they're pretty small. But we've mentioned plenty of games that are bigger than
Sure, I didn't even think of those. I guess
those.
the game is when you open those up, though, the game itself doesn't feel tiny necessarily. I really
doesn't
like
matter, but it's about the
Dragon's
size
Gold.
of.
Well,
It's about
Dragon's
the
Gold
size
is the
of
best
Monster
one.
Trick. Monster Trick is about the size of those blue box,
Oh, is it?
blue line. Yeah,
Coup.
I don't like it.
I like Coup okay. Oh my word.
Cool, okay.
Bonanza. Sam said he's tired of Bonanza.
Yes.
It's all right.
Yeah, Bonanza was one
too long
did
for what
Bonanza
it
make
is.
my short list? My short list had I also had Oh My Goods, Innovation, which is kind of big, and Tides of Madness,
That's on my list.
which was
Yeah.
it's like 16 cards, but the box is big, so I was confused on that
Not
one.
that big. It's the size of like the Silver Line reissues. Those skinny ones.
All right.
Okay, I got Vodoran Gardens on my list. Kariba. Not
You like
Karuba,
Vodoran Gardens?
Kariba. Yeah. Eternity, which is another trick-taking game. I only picked one. Tides of Madness was on there. Archaeology, The New Expedition. Kobayakawa. That's an Oink game originally. Got reprinted by Yellow.
Really? Okay.
You guys hated it, but I like that one a lot. Bang the Dice game. R Echo, but it's so out of print. I don't want to hear it. You know, stuff like that.
I'm getting that. People were yelling at me because I put on Mintworks, which people couldn't find. So,
Yeah.
all right, Hive or Pocket Hive, I guess.
Thought about it. I thought about it a lot.
Shot and Taunton / Battle Line,
I thought about it.
Skull.
No. I mean, yes, it's
That's that
good, the
coaster
right
game?
size, but
Yeah.
Nope.
it's the right size. I picked different bluffing games.
Let's see.
Those are all good. Again, this
Parade is a decent
I
game.
don't like Parade that
Oh, you don't like
much.
Parade?
It's okay.
Fox in the Forest.
That's a good one.
Very good.
Two-player trick-taking game, but I got one of those.
Targi for me starts pushing the
That
boundaries of the
size
size.
and bigger is where I'm like, nope. Because there's a lot of games at that point.
yeah,
Once you hit
really.
that Cosmos two-player line, we're off to the races.
Pit.
The bell pushes it over the size limitation for me.
That's true though. It could just be a single deck of cards. I haven't played. Pit's like one of those games. I'm like, I think maybe we'll do a top 10 like games that I'm pretty sure I'll never play again before I die, and Pit may be on that list. Like, I have fond memories of it. Let's leave it at
I
that.
don't have fond memories of it. That's just, I don't like loud, chaotic games like that. You know, the same thing with like, you know, that salmon game. What is that called? Happy Salmon? I don't like games like that. I mean, they look fun. They're fun to watch other people play it. I don't like playing.
Neoborn?
Neoborn.
No.
man.
Death Angel is actually a good game for how small it is, and we just added to Dice Tower Library, but it's, again, was a little bigger from what I want to put in.
yeah.
That's a tiny game.
Brave Rats is a good choice.
That's a micro game.
yeah,
That's
it
when they
is.
were still doing micro games.
Hanabi, is Hanabi small? Oh, Hanabi's
Yeah,
a card
deck
game. I'm
of
thinking
cards.
of the bigger ones
I
now.
got I like the big one, but sure, it's a small game.
Chimera is a good game.
Isn't Chimera the 3-player
Yeah, Teach You. Yeah, I like it better than Teach You.
Oh, okay.
Actually. Then a lot of people are mentioning roll and write style games. Obviously, almost
Tons.
all of those
There's
fit the list.
tons there in that realm. I'm actually surprised neither one of you had a roll and ride on your lists, right?
Again, I would have put silver and gold on my list.
It's
Because
such a
I thought,
realm.
okay,
It's
so
like
I
an
thought about
entire
the roll
realm
and
of
write ones, but my favorite one is the dungeon one
Oh,
from Matago, and that's too big.
that's big, yeah.
And then Silver and Gold slipped my mind. Maybe I would have put it on. What other roll and writes? I like the flipping. Oh, Boomerang. Oh, yeah.
You have a boomerang?
No. I've never been able to get a boomerang to come back to me, and it irritates me, so I get one and I'm
You need
done.
to treat them nicer.
That's a joke you stole, Dad. Alrighty, Beastie Bar is
Again, it's about the size of one Irem's, a little chunky for me, so.
wow. People are like just suggestions to blow it out the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Zombie dice, unexploded cow, 6 Nimmt, or 5 Alive, or Slide 5, or
Sure, again, there's a lot of card games. X-Nimmt,
Yeah.
I like X-Nimmt
I
myself.
was trying not to necessarily do all card games because
That's
you
a-
could have.
That's a little too easy for, like, that would feel like a cop-out, is what I mean.
Someday we'll do a, not bang for your buck, but I think we might have done this in the past too, where like the game exceeds its size. The TARDIS, the top 10 TARDIS games.
That's a cool.
Games that are bigger on the inside than on the outside.
Oh, that is really pithy. I like that.
I think we should end because I can't get a better compliment than that. Pithy. All right, folks. Thank you for watching. Of course, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Me and Z are doing a back talk on something, right?
Okay, if you say so, boss.
We're doing it. I
Game
think.
libraries.
Oh, game libraries. That's right. Oh, I have lots to say. All right. Until then, I'm Tom Bassel.
I'm Z Garcia. Thanks, everybody.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks. Take care until then.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.